Hi everyone, my name is Mathieu Guel and I'm going to present the paper IP Geolocation Database Stability and Implications for Network Research. So what is a geolocation database? A geolocation database maps a range of IP addresses to a location, which can be a country, a city, or geolocation coordinates. In the case of MaxMine, we can access this database via a web API or download snapshots every week. The API provides up-to-date information, whereas snapshots are downloadable files associated with a date. A free and a paid version of the database exists. The main contribution of this work is showing that the MaxMine database is highly dynamic in space and time, and this can have a significant impact on research that use this database. What we refer to dynamic here is that from a snapshot to another, numerous changes in geographic location and coverage can happen, and these changes can be substantial. To make this work possible, we automatically downloaded snapshots from the free version of MaxMine regularly. While we did gather more than 10 years of MaxMine snapshots, we only used the data of the year of 2019 for this study. A longitudinal study of the 10 years is available in a technical report. Note that we didn't explore in this work why these changes happen or if these changes are real. We will investigate that in a future work. You can see here an illustration of the maximum distance dynamics of the IPv4 space during the year of 2019. You can see that some ranges of the IPv4 space are very dynamic, whereas some other remain stable over the year. First, we will talk about the motivation of this work. Geolocation databases are widely used in different domains of the industry, such as language selection on websites and content filtering. One interesting usage in the research field that happened in the past is outage detection caused by censorship. In 2011, internet connections were temporarily disrupted in reaction to protests in multiple African countries. It has been possible to study this outage by Denotti et al., who used the MaxMine database in order to better understand which populations were impacted. So you may ask, why MaxMine? After all, there are multiple commercial geolocation databases. We performed a semi-automatic literature search in order to have an idea of which database was the most used. The result is pretty clear. MaxMine is by far the most used database in the scientific literature. Then, we made an in-depth analysis to better understand how these papers were using the MaxMine database, that is the granularity of geolocation, AS, country or city, and which type of IP address was studied, end user and host infrastructure, and or routers. Finally, we checked if MaxMine database was used to obtain results or to check their results, and if the snapshot dates were specified. We can already learn an interesting fact from the papers that are using the MaxMine database. 86% of papers are affected by database change, and 88% of papers do not provide the date of the snapshot used. So MaxMine is widely used in industry and in the research literature, but how do MaxMine dynamics affect research? Note that there is a lot of prior academic work on geoaccuracy, but our work is the first to look at the consistency of a geolocation database over time. Now, let's dive into the impact of MaxMine dynamics. We sampled the snapshots to have a uniform distribution in time, one every 2 weeks. To create our dataset of different IP types, we used the Google MLab data for end users, Alexa Top List for end host infrastructure, and Kaida ITDK and Diamond Miner datasets to get routers' IP addresses. We would like to know what is the impact of choosing one snapshot over another in a time period. We define two metrics, the coverage difference and the distance difference. Coverage difference means the portion of IP addresses that appear in one snapshot or another, but not both. Distance difference means the geographic distance in kilometers between two IP addresses covered by two snapshots. We sliced and diced the data in different time windows and different types of IP addresses to have a clearer view. We evaluate the coverage difference of two snapshots by using the Jacquard distance, which measures the dissimilarity between two sets. The more this value is close to 1, the more the two snapshots cover different IP addresses. Let's look at this example. Imagine these two snapshots. One covers the IP addresses A, B, and C, whereas the other covers A, E, and F. We compute easily the Jacquard distance by figuring out that among these 5 unique elements, 4 are not in both sets. So the distance jacquard is 4 out of 5 or 0.8, which means these sets are dissimilar. We evaluate the distance difference of two IP addresses by using the Haversine distance, which is a close approximation of the great circle distance between 2 points of the Earth's surface. The distance is expressed in kilometers. Here is an example. Imagine these two snapshots. In the first snapshot, the location of IP address A is Paris, whereas in the other snapshot, the location is London. We can simply compute the Haversine distance, here 343 kilometers. Here are some results for the impact on the coverage difference. Each of the graphs are CDFs that corresponds to the different type of IP addresses: end user, end host infrastructure, and routers. On the x-axis, you can find the jacquard distance. On the y-axis, you can find the percent of pair of snapshots during the time period. In each graph, you can find three curves corresponding to three different time periods: pair of snapshots spaced in less than 3 months, between 3 and 6 months, and more than 6 months. From these graphs, we can see that MaxMind database is pretty consistent with end users. Less than 10% of the snapshots coverage is different, is getting worse on end host infrastructure, and even worse on routers, where there is up to 21% of the coverage difference for two snapshots taken within 3 months apart. The first lesson is that coverage difference highly depends on the address type and can vary significantly. Now we can look at CDF of the distance difference for the same types of IP addresses. On the x-axis, you can find the distance in kilometers in logarithmic scale between the location of IP address from a snapshot to another. On the y-axis, you can find the portion of IP addresses during a time period. Again, there are three curves on each graph. The median result of IP addresses of snapshots spaced by less than 3 months, between 3 months and 6 months, and more than 6 months. From the distance difference perspective, we also see significant changes depending on the type of IP addresses. First, please consider that 40 kilometers correspond to a metropolitan change. We can see that the end user moves the most, where up to 20% of the addresses moves more than 40 kilometers for snapshots less than 3 months apart. Interestingly, end host infrastructure moves less than routers. The second lesson is that IP addresses can vary significantly in terms of geographic distance. It's particularly true for end user IP addresses. Now we will see a practical use case by looking at a research paper in the light of the previous lessons, showing that using different MaxMind snapshots can fundamentally change the results. Now that we know that selecting a particular MaxMind snapshot can have a significant impact on the results, we would like to demonstrate the potential impact on research that depends on MaxMind. We replicated the work of Garabay et al. Published in IMC 2017, which studies the accuracy of different geolocation databases for routers for which they have the ground truth. Among the other results, they make the claim that the paid version of MaxMind is more accurate than the free version. We replicated their study with the same dataset of router IP addresses, but with different snapshots that cover the period of time where the authors consider that the ground truth is valid. Our result is that, depending on the snapshot, the median distance between the MaxMind geolocation and the ground truth can vary from more than 100 km to 40 km, and the worst case has been found for 2 months apart snapshot from the one used by the authors. This challenges the recommendation for preferring the paid version over the free version, because the paid version has a median distance to ground truth between 40 and 40 km. In conclusion, we will explain our future work and sum up the takeaways. An interesting future work would be to better understand how MaxMind finds the location of IP addresses and what is causing geolocation dynamics. Particularly, it would be interesting to know if the dynamics are real or is it due to MaxMind. We set up a methodology to perform a longitudinal study of the dynamics over time. It would be interesting to apply it to other types of dynamics, such as reverse DNS, for instance. Finally, we can sum up some takeaways and make some recommendations for future works that use geolocation databases, and particularly MaxMind. Because MaxMind database is highly dynamic in space and time, we recommend 2. align MaxMind data with measurements, and prefer web API that allow to automatically fetch the freshest result during the experiment, state the dates of the snapshots for replicability, use multiple snapshots to see if the results are impacted, and investigate where there is high distance changes between snapshots. You can find more in our paper as well as our technical report that covers analysis of 10 years of MaxMind snapshots. Thank you a lot for your attention, and I will be pleased to respond to your questions.